Hi, I'm Michael Larner, here at the Paris Air Show, courtesy of PTC. I'm Research Director at ABI Research, covering manufacturing technologies, everything from the design, manufacturing and servicing of aircraft. We also look at all the different technologies that support aircraft manufacturing, production, design. What we're seeing is companies such as Boeing, Airbus, got really successful with their commercials, getting the orders from all the airlines. But now they've got to ramp up production to get rid of that backlog as their orders come in. It's not that they can't produce the products quickly, it's because everything has to go through so many different steps from regulation in terms of the seat design, cockpit, anything to do with the wing and operations, so thousands of different regulations. It's not just a case of putting in the aircraft, the most attractive aircraft. It has to be, obviously, safety is a critical thing in this industry, and the authorities really nailing down what's going on, and the manufacturers have to religiously keep to every regulation is ticked off as it goes through the production. What really is fundamentally important here on the supply chain side is it's not just that Boeing makes an aircraft. There is hundreds, if not thousands, of different suppliers, thousands of components go into an aircraft that need orchestration in order to get the aircraft complete on time and to regulations we just said. So it really is an orchestration task for these manufacturers as much as a production task. The issue really is backlog, also because no plane design is the same. So you've got the general overarching airframe, so to speak, but then everyone has to have their own customization, be it whichever airline, be it Emirates, be it Kuwaiti, be it American Airlines. They all want to have that branding inside their aircraft, but also externally as well. So that adds a complexity in terms of product design. Again, with the regulations, has to be within keeping of that, but then it's not just giving everybody the same aircraft. And then each aircraft has different models, sizes, shapes, so it really is not just one size fits all. Historically, to reduce the manufacturing backlog, we'd be looking at a lot of paper, basically. A lot of paper designs, things then transported to the other parts of the ecosystem for them to add their piece to the mix. Nowadays, with systems such as CAD design from people like PTC and Creo, you can do those designs electronically, obviously. You can experiment, but more importantly, not just produce the designs, they then share those designs with other team members inside the organisation, but also other collaborators inside the ecosystem. So it's then one project delivering the component, how it all fits together in the whole ecosystem. And another important tool which often gets underestimated is ALM, Application Lifecycle Management. So here, this is then saying, we talked already about all the regulations, so how does all the regulations get incorporated into these designs? Because you don't want it too late when the plane goes off and they say, hang on a minute, you haven't met A, B, C and D regulations. So it's ensuring it's all one-time production, one-time designs, everything is aligned. Furthermore, with PLM, Product Lifecycle Management, you're getting that quality and assurance and collaboration right the way through from concept through to manufacturing and into the field. On an international basis, you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of different suppliers. Everyone makes things in a different way, so there's a lack of consistency. What it needs is a consistent orchestration tool in order to, everyone sort of understands the single idea, the single project, and also the single way of actually getting the components assembled on time to reduce that product backlog. Digital threads are really important here. I think as a concept, you can talk about individual applications, and we can all talk about the design applications from different vendors, we can talk about the production, but the glue here is the data. The data is the important piece. So what is happening to transfer the data from the different roles across the production line so everyone is informed and can add their own expertise to the enterprise, to the own project. I think digital thread is the glue and enables that collaboration. So I would really, to summarise in a couple of words, digital thread is collaboration enablement. I think holistic product lifecycle in the aerospace and defence is really important because I think it goes back to the idea of the customers want to see what their aeroplane or aircraft is going to look like, have the confidence to visualise it. Despite all the ramp up of production we've spoken about, it does take months, it does take years. So you've got to have that with the visualisation, you need to be able to see it before actually have the confidence it's going to do what you intend it to do. So it's all about that digital thread, the collaboration. And it's not just, I would argue, one way from left-hand side design through to manufacturing, through to the final customer. It should be full circle and intermediary steps whereby everyone has their input and is validated to show concerns. Because the last thing you see in a lot of cases, everyone has to sign this off, but they don't really think they have the empowerment to raise concerns. And I think that's important. when you're making some drastic changes like with the impact of tariffs. If you're designing and you know there's a tariff involved, can you choose to part with an alternative solution in terms of raw materials? The builder materials, can you experiment? Are there an experiment with the suppliers to alternate those and swap them in and swap them out and see what that means? And again, with the simulation, you can actually experiment what impact that has then on the final product as well. So there is tools available to do that scenario planning and simulation to mitigate the effects. ALM and PLM really are the digital backbone here. We've talked about how not only is just from one end to the other, from the production through to manufacturing and actually the customer, it's really important here because it enables that cascading of information and the clarity of information, and being interoperable as solutions, it really helps everybody be on the same page, so to speak. So everyone's in agreement, everyone has confidence that its new innovation is reducing the carbon footprint of the aircraft or the part that's in the aircraft. In addition to that, there's a confidence that the simulation that the product will work in situ. Getting all those issues ironed out proactively, then you can press the buttons, get the production team on the ground and getting this orchestration done and the aircraft in the air as soon as possible.